All right, now we got it right side up. Oh yeah, mommy came right down through here with her baby. They came right through here and went over here somewhere and down in the bottom. So the mommies had the babies already. They're having the babies. And that baby, I wish I would have had my camera in hand. Wish I would have had the phone in my hand with the video on. It was so, I heard the noise. For a second I thought, oh my God, whatever that thing was, it followed me. And then mommy and baby Bambi came out of the thicket. So now that I know that that's just mama and probably the baby, I guess it's probably the baby. So if that's what the baby sounds like, they really sound like they're really bad and tough and something mean, which I guess is good because, you know, hopefully I didn't get a chance to check myself, but the pants I'm wearing, I ordered some of that Pyrethrin, whatever the heck it's called, that pre-treatment tick spray. I treated these pants and I wore them today, and now with the thicket that I was just going through, trying to get out, on my t-shirt I just sprayed with a whole bunch of Cutter with DEET 40 in it. So I'm gonna hope that I don't have any ticks crawling on me, because that spot on my back where I had one burrowed in me, or actually I had two burrowed in me, but the one where the big one was in me, I still have a lump there. Oh, somebody's fishing. Somebody's trout fishing. Trout fishing, man. Oh yeah, mommy's over in that thicket. Mommy's got her baby in the thick. Mama's gonna keep her baby safe. This is ooh, bumpy. Oh, jeez. This is where one-wheel drive really, even when it's dry, you got all these bumps. And as soon as you hit a bump, and I know my shocks and my leaf spring shot, I am not keeping traction to the road. But this thing's got some spots on it where 20-some years ago, this road used to be way worse. Like, you know, that that divot right there, well, those used to be all the way across the road where the water would wash across from one side to the other. And I had a mid-sized Blazer 4x4, and I was down here and I thought to myself, young and dumb, self, if you go fast enough, you won't actually feel the divot. You just skate right over it. So I did that. Well, needless to say, in two-wheel drive with limited slip, when you leave the ground and come back down to spinning, well, I ended up spidering the living hell out of my limited slip gear or something. But when I went to make a sharp turn later the next day, everything locked up and ding 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 ding, which I had that happen years ago on my S10 pickup. doing donuts in a field and hit a rock and spidered the living heck out of that, bringing pinion gear too. So as soon as I heard the noise on my Blazer, I knew exactly what it was. I'm sure Mama ain't running up the hill this far. We ain't gonna see Mama and baby, but let me tell you what, that was, like I said, that was the cutest thing. Oh, it kind of just melted my heart, you know, seeing little baby Bambi. I've seen them from afar, but they were only like 20 feet from me, and they were at a trot, but they weren't hightailing it. I don't even know why Mama just didn't stay in the woods with the baby, because I was already in the parking lot, so I don't understand why she came running out into the parking lot. Unless she wanted me to see the baby, because she wasn't hightailing it, like her tail wasn't up like she was feeling threatened. It was more like she was just going at a pace to get across the opening and get baby back into the thicket. Most of this, as you can see, that's all rock. Which is why they call it Stony Valley. It's pretty much the whole valley is like that. The whole mountainside, the valley, up the other side on the next mountain. Well, this road's been back here. I should have got some video footage, but I'm sorry, I was too busy reminiscing and thinking about what could have been or what should have happened before, or, you know, how good, fantasizing how good it could have been. How good it would have, how nice it would have been. But I was exploring an old hotel site, a hotel and a resort, way back. I'm not gonna go out on a limb with the exact years, but I know we're going back. We're going way back. There's a big dip. See, I swear people sit there and they do burnouts, like a bunch of rerees, and then they make them big holes. So now I should stop and get my little digger shovel out, and I should fix that, but I'll get it next time. But slow and steady, because you hit these fast, they hurt. Yeah, look at that. Rock. Trees growing around rocks, rock slides. Mother Nature just continually moving this mountain, whether it's moving up or it's eroding. But it's funny, I don't remember seeing any thunderstorms in the forecast. That was over the weekend. That was Saturday. Jesus. Yep, here we go. Get out of these holes. Get out of the holes. Get out of the holes. Hold on, Jeep. Jesus. Yeah, I wish I had 4-wheel drive. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? But I can't afford $25,000 nor to get this van all the way out to out west, because AJ's 4x4 Vans is where I would want to take this baby of mine. AJ's 4x4 Vans. Let them convert this. But I don't got that kind of money to pay for it, and nor could I. I don't think I couldn't justify it, because I mean, this has only got the 4.6 liter. I don't personally. I don't think the 4.6 would be a great motor for 4x4. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could work, but you know, 189,475 miles. And unless I would have, the only way I could justify it is if I would, before I built the van out, if I would have replaced all the body mount bushings and hardware and made sure that all that stuff was pristine, perfect, then maybe I could justify a 4x4 conversion so that my home could get to places when I get out west. But I can't justify it because I don't have the money then to justify motor and drivetrain rebuild. And everything else. So we'll just keep Mona 2-wheel drive. Well, actually 1-wheel drive. The only thing I might justify is I might justify trying to find either a rear end that has limited slip out of a Ford, an E250, or maybe find out if an F250 rear end would work in this van. Because it should be. I mean, it's still the the Econo line is big. I think they're built on the exact same frames as the F series. So now we're back down in the Fort Indiantown Gap property, which all along here we have these signs that say danger. Another language, keep out, another language, live fire weapon and laser hazard area, another language, do not touch or remove unnatural objects. Now that's because with all the live fire they do back here, there's a lot of unexploded ordnances. And over the years, where I was exploring at is state game lands, and hunters over the years have found unexploded ordnances, contacted the authorities, they contacted the Gap sends out their people to the coordinates, and then they set off and destroy the unexploded ordnance. Now you ask, well, how per se did it get to the other side of the mountain? Well, see, years ago they used to always admit, oh, they bounce and ricochet. So they're firing these big artillery guns, and well, now the A-10s come down through here and do a live fire with their machine gun. But I guess apparently at some point in time, air weaponry was fired. Bigger stuff was probably fired back here. And they claim that they bounced up and over. Yeah, they bounced up and over the mountain from down here in the valley. We're only like halfway down. We're like coming, this is a weird valley. There's one little low point, and then it's like a real gradual up the mountain until at the top, then it gets steep. So we're technically on the mountain yet, but they fire here in the mountain, they fire down in the valley, and then they claim, ooh, hawk. Come back, hawk. I want to see you. Why does wildlife not want to be on YouTube? I don't get that. But anywho, they claimed that these shells bounced from down here up over the mountain, down into the valley between the next two mountains. Well, actually between the next two, it's a very short, narrow valley. And then it starts right back up the other mountain. But, they claimed that they bounced. Now, I have information, proof, evidence, information that they were doing an awful lot of training on the other side of the mountain at some point in time, back probably about the time that my pawpaw was back here getting trained and ready for deployment to the war, when he met my grandma. And then when Pawpaw made it back, she was waiting for him, and they got married, and he stayed here instead of moving back to Kansas. Oop, there goes a deer. Instead of moving back to Kansas, he stayed here and started the Gilbert family. Yep, that deer took off quick too. Jesus. Big hop and a skip, and it's in the thick. All I saw was a big tail. Flicker. A flicker of a tail. That was it. Gee, it might be time to prescribe burn this again, boys and girls. It's getting too thick. Yeah. But let's not get me started on the whole wildlife. Well, back here, this side, they prescribe burn so they don't start a wildfire they can't get put out when they're live firing, especially tracer rounds and everything else, and lasers and lasers, not just for sighting, but probably lasers that could make stuff go boom. But anywho, so yeah, I mean, there's proof and there's evidence, and there's that, they were doing stuff on the other side of the mountain. So I wouldn't be surprised if way back when they were deploying people out of here for the war, that they weren't shooting artillery on the other side of the mountain. But they won't admit that. They just say they bounced over there. So that tells me they weren't supposed to be over there, but they were over there. But yet, heaven forbid though, if some of us want to go do stuff in the woods, we're not allowed to do we got a long list of do not do's, and a very small list of what you can do's. If you're buying a license, a hunting license, a fishing license, a trapping license, a fur taking license. Yeah, if you're gonna spend money on licenses, well, then you can do that stuff. But there's no license for a lot of stuff, so you can't do it. But then there's other stuff you don't need a license for, and they let you do it to a degree, but then they limit where's you can do it and where's you can't do it. So pretty much, I think my theory on that is my constitutional right says I can do what I wants to do. I'm not harming anybody. I'm not killing nobody. I'm not I'm not doing any such thing like that, so my constitutional right says I can do what I wants to do. Yep, see, dead trees because you prescribed burned. Now the tree's dead. So now it falls over and breaks off. Falls over. Yeah, this is all military training area back here. And the thing is, it's like, you know, all these areas, really cool areas. Like, it would be really, really cool to just pull in there and make dinner, and in the morning get up and go to work. But we're not allowed to do that. But the army ain't using it right now. I mean, they just what is it, 1 month a year, 2 weeks, or a weekend a month, 2 weeks a year, some shit for the National Guard. You know, they were back here. They're back here playing Army man for a month, for weeks and months. Then you had Homeland Security. I saw on the newspaper was when the news was back here. Homeland Security was utilizing Fort Indiantown Gap to do some training. I'm actually shocked I didn't get chased out from. Because I've been chased out from here. I mean, I'm allowed to drive on this road. And I'm allowed to be up over the mountain. And that way back when, the gate at the top of the mountain was open to go to the Hawk Watch. And you were allowed to drive up there anytime you wanted to watch for birds, for the hawks. And right down here, there's a flagpole. And if there's a red flag flying, that just lets you know that there's live fire going on. And you are going to cross at your own risk. Right there is the pole. No flag. Okay. So I came up here one time, long ago. You know what? I want to go. I'll go this way. And there was a red flag flying, but I thought, well, I'll take my, I'm assuming the risk to get up there. So I went up, and I was on top of the mountain, looking for hawks. In their nests with my binoculars. Didn't see none. And then I headed down, and on my way down, I got almost run off the road by an SUV, a black SUV with all blacked out windows. Almost ran me off the road. Then went past me, turned around, and followed me all the way off the Gap property. Now all this land on both sides of this road, this is, ooh, there's deers. There they go, deers. Lots of deers. Oh, they're awful skittish. That must be from all the, they've been doing a lot of A10 training up here the last couple weeks. Has these deers all spooked. But yeah, this is all Fort Indiantown Gap property all around, but yet public roads that you're allowed to drive down. But then they act all weird when you want to spot for deer or just enjoy nature, and yet they don't want to share this area with anybody. You know, it's only for them to play army man and do their so-called practice. Then you do got some private. You do got a couple private properties back in here. Well, there was one. There used to be a house there, but I'm gonna guess the Gap on the United States government military installation owns that property now. As these people die off, the property becomes theirs. Oh, deers. Oh, turkeys. 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 Wild turkeys. Check that out, see? Wild turkeys. Lots of wild turkeys back here, actually. But that's because they don't ever get hunted, I don't think. I didn't see or hear of anybody going spring gobbler this year. But now I got a vehicle coming up behind me, so in case it's the military, we're gonna end this video here, and I will be back later maybe.